Welcome to Ladies of Another View on Beck. We are pretty excited today. We have a full panel. Nobody's on vacation. Everybody's, well, everyone is, it's just, and spring is here, right?
Yeah. Hallelujah. Well, I'm dressed for spring. I don't know about you three.
Well, I had to throw on something.
Short sleeves.
Short sleeves.
It counts.
So we have Kendi, Carmen, and Patty, and we will be joined later by a guest, Kathy Skroch. She has been here before, and she has lots to tell us on the updates, what's going on the Hill. But before we get started, I found the greatest parody regarding the vaccine. It's really, I think you're gonna enjoy it too. Take a look at this.
Hi, I'm Dr. Falsey. So I take it you're here for the new birth control medicine. Good, great. Okay, so it's just gonna be one quick injection. Shouldn't be too painful, you should be okay. Yeah, and then after that you will be good to go with your birth control. Just a couple quick things, no big deal. He'll still have to wear a condom every time, and you're gonna have to abstain. No big deal. Just what's that? No. You're gonna have the birth control. You have birth control. It's perfect. We just created it like 3 months ago. But just afterwards, just to be sure, he still has to wear a condom, and then you have to abstain. No big deal. You have to just stay, minimum 6 feet apart at all times, because you may get pregnant. Not a big deal. Where are you going? Hey, excuse me.
Okay.
So, was that the best?
Oh, yes. He left one part out, though. I thought you're supposed to wear a mask, too.
Oh,
I mean, come on.
That's right.
Do
it for love. Isn't
yeah.
that this billboard? Do it for love.
But isn't that just pretty appropriate as far as talking about the vaccine? You still have to socially distance, you still have to wear a mask, and you still might get it, so you still need to quarantine.
Yeah.
But wear your condom, but abstain. I mean, yeah, I'm all for that.
I'm all for it, right?
Do we have a rating for today's show, by the way?
No, after the Grammys or whatever that was.
Oh, yeah, what am I saying?
We're golden.
G,
We're golden.
right?
Yeah.
Probably G.
Yep.
Well, and that's just it. I guess we're kind of making fun of the subject, but honestly, that's if you look at the parallels, they're saying get this vaccine and you are protected 100%. Don't worry about it, but you still need to wear a mask. You still need to social distance, and you should still quarantine if you feel ill or if someone around you is ill. Yeah. So, and by the way, you might still get the you might still get COVID, but just not as bad. Right. And so why in the world would you take the vaccine in the first place if it has all of those warnings on it and if it's not safe? Comparing it to birth control is, I thought it was funny.
Yeah. Well, and it's a good comparison. I mean, because if you're trying to prevent getting pregnant, I mean, you're going to do everything within your power not to do that, right?
Right.
You want something that is effective. And so I thought it was spot on to use something like that. In regards to the vaccine, I mean, you want it to work, so.
Well, the other thing is the birth control for men, obviously, because you still have to wear a condom. I'm assuming it was for men. In today's world, I don't know. But in any event, so it made just as much logical sense as calling this a vaccine versus an experimental treatment. I mean, it's all, to me, this just highlights how much common sense has gone out the door through this whole thing for talking points. It's like, but wait a minute, I can't connect the dots. The puzzle pieces don't fit, And so I think there's a great parody because it's so true.
Yeah.
But here's the deal too. Krispy Kreme is offering donuts. If you show up and prove that you have been vaccinated, you get a free donut for an entire year, a free donut every day at Krispy Kreme for an entire year.
Who's paying for that? I saw that and I thought, now wait a minute, is this a government incentive or is Krispy Kreme jumping in? What do they care?
They're making a political statement. They want you to get vaccinated.
They're going to lose a lot of
Or they want you to
dollars.
get fat so that you help out.
Well,
that's not
doing
healthy,
some things with something to make money for someone. I don't know.
And that's so interesting, actually. You think about the vaccine, and we know that there's risk in getting it. Okay, and I personally know people that have been injured from the vaccine. I don't know the person who died personally, but I know someone whose uncle has died from the vaccine. And then you think about Krispy Kreme, who's going to give you a donut that's going to compromise your immune system. I mean, come on, give me a freaking break. It's stupid.
It really is.
No, the other side of this, because I have siblings, and my 95-year-old dad got the vaccine, and so supposedly things are supposed to be opening up for them. He's at an assisted living, and I think they can have visits maybe twice a week for half an hour. Like, okay, if this is supposed to open things up, let's do it. Let's get there, you know?
Okay, but to go see them in a nursing home or a long-term care facility, do you have to have the vaccine to go see them? I mean, what's the rule there?
I'm going to visit this summer, and I'm worried that they're going to tell me, because I have the antibodies. I already had it, and I'm not going to get the vaccine, and I hope they don't tell me I have to have it if I want to see them.
Well, but we had an immunologist right here on this show, and she said once you have it, it's just like getting chickenpox.
Right.
If you had chickenpox, you're not going to get it again.
Right.
Same thing with COVID.
You're not going to get measles and then go get the measles vaccine.
Right.
That'd be crazy.
And I know a lot of people compare this vaccine to like polio and smallpox, and it's like, no, it's not. It is nothing like polio or smallpox, because you will never get polio or smallpox after you get that vaccine. You will, however, get COVID again. So that's the big difference, and that's what people need to understand.
Yeah.
Well, and then the other thing is now there's, of course, the variants and the mutations of the virus. So now they're talking about a third shot, a booster shot to go along with the first two. It's like, when will enough be enough? And how do you, and then they're saying this new one from the UK is even more transmissible than the old one. Well, I thought we were all going to die from the old one, and now this UK one is even worse. I don't know how anybody survives on the planet now. I guess I just don't know. It's crazy.
I'm so snarky because I'm just like,
me too.
And you have this nice springy color. You're supposed to just be a breath of fresh air today.
You guys are depressing me.
Okay, so I could be the breath of fresh air.
You are.
Seriously,
Okay.
Here it is.
All right.
Don't go get the freaking vaccine, okay? Like, don't. We're in the biggest control trial of our lives. I mean, seriously, between those who are choosing to get it and those who do not, let's watch and see what happens. I'm not going to get it. There's no way in
God's green
you know
earth.
where.
Yeah.
I'm not getting that vaccine. It's an experiment right now, and I'm not willing to take the risk. I say I'll get COVID over the vaccine.
Well, and I've already had COVID, and I think most of us here have either been exposed to someone or may have had it, and you weren't tested for it. People have had different illnesses without knowing what it is exactly. It's pretty safe to say it was COVID, and we're all here. We're all still here.
And I have lots of friends that have had the vaccine, friends and family that had the vaccine, and whether you've had COVID, whether you haven't COVID, or whether you had the vaccine, like, can we just get back to normal now?
Yeah. But we can't. See, that's the whole point.
Yes,
get the
I want
vaccine,
to go.
get both shots, but then you're not going to be normal anyway. So just hang on, because we're coming with a third one, because God dang it, we like it. I mean, when does it end?
We
when
just
is
need
it
to
enough?
follow the money. Follow the money.
Follow the money, absolutely.
There are people making billions of dollars on
Well,
this vaccine.
Bill Gates got $3.5 billion with this last COVID package, and it all ties together in his world, whether it's the earth or the vaccines
Fauci owns
or
one of
whatever.
the pharmaceutical, or is an investor in one of the pharmaceutical companies.
He was the first chairman of the board for Moderna.
Is
So
it
go
Fauci
figure.
or Falsey? I can't remember.
Falsey, yeah. Falsey.
Breath of fresh air right here.
There she is, breath of fresh air, and a great new hairstyle on Carmen.
And
all of this right here on Ladies of Another View. We're going to come back with our guest, and stick around because it's going to be good.
Yep.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
Hi, I'm Dennis Haugen, along with my sons Andy and Mike, and we're showing our support for wind energy in North Dakota.
Wind energy has provided farmers like us with a steady stream of income that's not tied to the weather like crops and cattle are.
Another bonus is that wind farm owners are required to maintain the roads leading up to the turbines. Because of that, oftentimes these roads are the best in the county. Wind energy is good for landowners, it's good for the land, it's good for our economy, and it's good for North Dakota.
Beck Communications is now hiring independent sales agents around the state. We're looking for highly motivated individuals to take advantage of this opportunity, selling advertising for our news and sports programming on Beck TV and sponsorships for the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team. Independent sales agents will make 50% commission on their completed sales for all products. Beck TV is the leader in broadcasting local sports, owner of the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team, and originator of newly launched news opinion programming. Submit your application now at careers@bechtel.coop. This is an exciting opportunity you can't pass up. 50% commission for independent sales agents now hiring at Beck Communications.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Pub 21, your one stop for fun, drinks, and food. Our spacious facility provides COVID-safe fun for you and all your friends. With nightly bingo and specials, you can be sure there's something to do for everyone. If you're staying in for the night, we've got you covered just across the way with Pub 21 Liquor. We have a wide variety of options, from wine to whiskey and everything in between. Stop in today at 1014 South 12th Street in Bismarck to see what all the buzz is about. You won't be disappointed.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. We have the beautiful sunshine, spring birthday, Kathy Skroch with us today. Yes. She's a representative from the Fargo area.
District 26, actually southeast corner of North Dakota. I actually live a mile from the South Dakota border.
Oh, awesome.
Wow. So.
Well, good for you. So we're glad to have her back. She's been with us before, but she always keeps us updated on all the bills that are going on. Now, before we get to the bills, there was a resolution being made as of yesterday regarding the possibility of illegal aliens being transferred up here. What's that all about?
Well, I think it's in part to address the crisis at the border, which is a created crisis that was created by the Biden administration by basically throwing the borders open and saying, come, no questions asked, we'll put you up in motels, we'll get you all processed and get you voting and collecting benefits here in the United States.
So they're going to put them up in hotels, and yet our National Guard sleeps in parking ramps.
In parking ramps. Yeah. There's something wrong with that, isn't there?
You would think.
Yeah, what's wrong with that picture? So this is how I see it. We're being invaded. These are not refugees that are escaping tyranny in their countries. They are opportunists, seeing that no one's going to stop them at the border, and so they're coming here. So they have this huge congestion at the border that is unmanageable, and their solution is, why don't we just send those to North Dakota? And North Dakota, you'll just take them and assimilate them into your state. Well, that's an invasion on our border then. They will overwhelm our systems. They are not refugees that we should sacrifice our resources for and put up and provide with programs and then allow to vote.
And it's not that we don't have a heart. We do feel bad for these people. They're coming here for a better opportunity, a better life. But they're banking on the promises that our government is going to take care of them. Is that
that is
a pretty safe statement to make?
Right. But for it simply to be demanded that we throw open our borders for people that have not been properly processed, for people that we have no idea if they are drug cartel individuals, if they are part of a terrorist organization, we have no clue.
Or MS-13.
MS-13, they'll just show up in our state and we're expected to just graciously take whatever number they send.
All right, so like the last segment we talked about the COVID vaccine. Are these people vaccinated?
Well, how would we know that? Most
So
of them
would
are
they
not
be-
tested. So.
Would they be vaccinated for anything that the American public is vaccinated for?
That is certainly a good question, because there are currently 14 different vaccines that, for example, our public school children are required to receive, and more when they go on to college. So I would venture to say we will not be provided records of their vaccine history when they come here, and most likely there isn't one.
Well, and how much does that, you know, not just even with the programs like the SNAP and the housing assistance, all those things, but when you think of the size of our government and how it's grown in North Dakota, and when you get this many new people, let's say this does happen, what does that do to our government agencies, and how many more staff do we have to hire then to process, oh, well, maybe we do need them to get vaccinated. Now we're paying for all these vaccinations, and we have to have more nurses, we have to have more public work, you know, public employees that will service all of the health needs, the mental health needs. I mean, when you start to really look at that big picture, it's not just housing and food.
Right.
You know, it just extrapolates out to a big, and that's a lot to put on North Dakota taxpayers, and can we afford that? Especially when you look at how they're shutting down our basic means of taxation of our people, which is our ag and our energy. And where are those sectors going right now because of what the federal government is doing? And so it just all works in the, it all comes back to me to let's break the back of the middle class so that we can get rid of America as we've known it, so that we can have a no borders world and it'll be unicorns and rainbows. And that's never going to be the case. So that's me.
There's another huge component here too that maybe is being overlooked, and that is the fact that Lutheran Social Services used to process a lot of these individuals coming into our state, and they're bankrupt.
Right.
So they're not going to be able to assist to meet that need if we so chose to welcome these people in. And this state has always been very welcoming to immigrants, especially those who are here to escape tyrannical governments and poverty and those kinds of things. But they're legitimately here. These are not legitimately here. They're just being transported here.
You might find it interesting. I wanted to quick pop this up. There is a new job opportunity in Mandan through LinkedIn.
Oh, gosh.
All right,
Oh,
State
my gosh.
Refugee Coordinator. So this would probably take the place of Lutheran Social Services.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
Guessing.
So I'm curious, what is being done? Is there any pushback that you're seeing being done so that this doesn't happen here in our state?
What I know at this point is that we have the ability to introduce delayed resolutions, and we'll go to a delayed bill committee, and they will look at this resolution, and it will address whether or not we should accept these individuals, if we should accept a number of them, or what our steps would be to address this coming invasion, I will call it, of illegals invading our state.
And they just started writing that yesterday, didn't they?
Yes, and I haven't heard anything about the process at this point. I haven't seen a rough draft.
Okay, and then I had also heard that the governor was making a statement today.
And I heard that he did.
I actually downloaded that.
Okay.
And what did it say?
It's basically saying that we are a very welcoming state, but we don't feel, I should say the governor doesn't feel that we should simply accept this mandate, and there haven't been discussions about it. If there was going to be that type of processing of illegals, then we as a state should have been involved in that decision making.
Yeah.
So that was a good move.
How did they define processing? That word kind of jumped out at me. It's like, what does that really mean? And I don't know.
Well, I'm not sure if I totally understand it either, but processing most likely will be gathering as much data as they can, gathering any information they can about if they're a child, if there's a parent someplace that they could contact, and then putting them through a system that lines them up with housing and all of the programs to sustain them and maybe a stipend to live on until they can hopefully find employment if they get to that point. But I'm just speculating on that. I haven't been involved in that here in North Dakota, so I can't say that for sure.
Right. One of the things that's so concerning about this, and we saw it with COVID too, where the government, the national government, they're reaching into the states. And they're taking away our power here. And I really hope that our governor and our representatives like you, that they'll stand up and they'll defend us, the people here in North Dakota.
Defend our sovereignty. We are, when it was understood by our founders, a state meant a country. And we are united countries for a common cause, but we retain our individual status as a country.
Amen.
Self-governing. And so many of the things that we've seen in these past years have been government overreach imposing on states things that we would not choose for ourselves.
Now that's a great place to end this segment, and we have a lot more on the next one, so stick around.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
Indoor football is back in Bismarck. Bucks football season is right around the corner. Grab a friend or family member for a night of action-packed, hard-hitting entertainment. The Bucks open at the Bismarck Event Center May 8th as they take on the Massachusetts Pirates. Catch the sweetest seats in the house right on the sidelines with VIP service at a Bucks turf table. Available now for single game purchases. Secure your tickets today by calling 701-595-0771. Bucks football, half the field and double the fun.
At Beck Communications, we've been planning for your future. Over the past decade, we've placed nearly 200,000 miles of dedicated fiber optics in the ground. Enough fiber optic strands to circle the world 8 times. Taking no shortcuts, we connected every home and business in our service area with dedicated fiber optics. It's your personal, unrestricted, unthrottled connection to the world. Best of all, this dedicated fiber means you do not share your connection. We call this intimate dedicated connection Beck Fiber.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream sheets. When you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Ever been in a cave before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the car!
How will we?
The car! Your offer has been accepted. Ever bought a house before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the closing.
But how will we?
The closing!
Beck News brings you real people and real news. Every weekday on KNDB, KNDM, and KRDK. Start your evening with the Dr. Duke Show at 4. Take a fresh look at current events with Ladies of Another View at 4:30. Go down the road with Joel at 5:30. Watch No Apologies with Becker at 9. Cap off your night with No Filter with Debbie at 10. Beck News. Real people, real news.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. We are visiting with Kathy Skroch from the Congress up here in North Dakota. But I have to, we did get, excuse me, a legislator? I'm sorry. Yeah. I introduced her wrong. Well, we all know who she is. Anyway, so I'm so busy. I've been trying to get this this letter from the governor, and so we did get a copy of it, and it says, our latest communication from the White House received Monday, March 22nd, stated that the CBP continually evaluates possible contingency plans and adjust its operations as circumstances dictate. But currently there are no plans to transfer migrants from the southwest border to the northern or coastal borders. We will be sure to work with DHS to reach out if the situation changes. So that's the statement. And then Governor Burgum said, to be clear, our administration does not support the transfer to North Dakota of migrants who have entered the U.S. without permission. So we're going to take him at his word that that this is done currently.
Right, but I want to, there's a phrase in there that makes me nervous, where they're being allowed into the country.
Yes.
Right? Because under the Biden administration, he's allowing them into the country. And so I'm just, we have to watch him with his words.
Smoke and mirrors.
Because we don't really know. It makes me nervous.
It does, and I think it does for all of us, but I just wanted to put it out there that these are his words. Let's hold him at his words.
Yeah, let's
And then, Carmen, you were talking during the break about a situation.
Well, I said, you know, the thing we're not addressing here is, I had watched the other night a gentleman that had been on a different program, and he's been working with rescuing trafficked children for sex trafficking, whatever else, for many years. And he talks about, you know, you need to understand this whole influx of these people coming, these young kids that are out there, the cartels, the drug cartels, the other bad guys that are out there, MS-13, they will go into families and they will kill the parents. They'll just shoot whoever they need to shoot. They'll kill them. They don't care. And they will take those little ones because they are purposely going to traffic those little kids. They are purposely going to look at those 12, 15, 17-year-olds, and they're now going to be in the drug cartel. They're going to be part of MS-13. They're going to be used however the cartels want them used. If they want to live, they will cooperate. And this has been that story for many, many years. And President Trump was doing a big thing to combat that. That was one of the big reasons he wanted that wall, to prevent that happening and those people coming to our country to do that to little kids. And so there's a bigger picture that I think we need to keep in mind as well. And those poor little kids, I hope if anything, if North Dakota is going to help anybody, then please God, let it be those little ones that are going to get sex trafficked.
Yeah.
Yes, it is Simon Parks, and he's on BeckNews.com. I mean, he was on one of our programs, so yeah.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, because that is a scary thought. And if there are kids involved, by all means. But it seems like most of the immigrants that are coming across, I shouldn't say immigrants, they're illegal aliens. Jana Myrdal is the one that corrected us on that.
Yeah.
An immigrant is someone who comes to our country legally. An illegal alien is someone who just storms our borders and comes in illegally. So that we need to be firm and correct anybody when they make that statement. But it's just amazing how most of the people that are trying to get through the border, a lot of them are these young men in their, say, 18 to 30 years old, it seems. You know, there are women and children. I think the mainstream media wants you to think it's all, you know, young children and women that actually need help. But it's a lot of these men who are of, I just don't want to judge. But like you said, Carmen, if there are children involved, absolutely, we would take kids in a heartbeat. But let's move on. We have so many more bills that we want to touch on. One of them was the 2145, where a family member could go into the nursing home. How is that one working?
Okay, so that one was heard in my committee, the Human Services Committee, to address how much suffering our elderly were put through by being isolated away from families in the nursing home, and the devastating losses of their physical, their cognitive, their moral stamina through 1 month that turned into 12 months, and many still in lockdowns where no family touch, in many cases no human touch, because they even had to eat their meals in their room. Caregivers would come in, spend as little time as possible, face masks on, many with hearing losses and visual impairment, not even being able to identify who that caregiver is or understand them through the face mask. So this bill was brought forward to ensure that if there is another state of emergency, and if it last longer than 30 days, that a family member can be designated as a primary caregiver to be allowed to come in on a daily basis. And I think this is so important to, my own mother was impacted by this and again suffered many losses because of the isolation. Still dealing with that. But this will allow a family member to come in, maintain physical contact with their loved one, continue on with conversations, hugs, you know, holding hands and those kinds of things. That also is really important because we can be eyes on them.
Yes.
Who would know if our loved one was somehow suffering any kind of abuse? How would we be able to react to maybe a health situation that's changing, that's not being addressed? And because we're not there to be eyes.
Especially if they have CNAs that rotate in and out different shifts. You know,
my
they're not
goodness, yeah.
always in the same wing. They're not always going to the same room. And not only that, but when you have people that go visit in a nursing home or a long-term care facility, it's like you might see Joe across the aisle, you know, or across the hallway, and you know probably 10 people down one wing.
Oh, sure.
And so, you know, they also, although you didn't come specifically to visit those other 10 people, you stop in, you say hello, and, you know, hi in the hallway, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's just nice to have people
And
in there.
so it was heard in your committee. Has it moved to the floor yet? Is it?
We still are going to act on it. I've heard that there may be some amendments, so we'll have to watch those closely. But I think this is very important going into the future. Many of these people in nursing homes felt like they were in solitary confinement, being treated worse than prisoners in California that got turned loose.
Right.
So it passed in the Senate, though, but now it's in the House.
Now it's in
and
the House.
you folks are seeing if you want to amend it and all that.
And I strongly support this. I really think this is important to the integrity of the elderly in our health.
Sure. Okay, so then we're going to skip over 4002 because that one's going to take us a little more time. Let's go to 4010, the resolution where the Senate and the House passed the Equal Rights Amendment. It was passed in both the Senate and the House. Do you just have just 2 minutes on that?
Yep, we'll go quickly through that. Actually, it's not passing the Equal Rights Amendment. What it does, and it doesn't repeal it per se, but when the North Dakota legislature acted on the Equal Rights Amendment to ratify it, within that document it said within 7 years. So they actually had that deadline built into the resolution that was passed here in North Dakota. Of course, we know it didn't happen by 1975, and Congress actually extended the deadline to 1982, and it still failed and laid there dead. Literally did not make the deadline. Well, a few years back, the activists tried to reinvigorate, bring life back, resuscitate the Equal Rights Amendment and say, well, we only need 3 more states to get across the deadline, and claiming that that deadline was meaningless. But I would beg to differ. Anyway, one of the statements that was used on the floor as to why we should support the statement that it is now dead because it's long past the deadline, and ask Congress to remove North Dakota from the list of states that ratified. So, well, in the meantime, there have been some states that have been ratified. And Ruth Gator Ginsburg actually stated that we need to go back and start over. We need to start new. Because if we're going to start allowing states that now have ratified it, we also need to allow those states who have rescinded.
Perfect.
And so it's too controversial in the states it's at.
All right, well, we're going to be back after this because we have a lot more to talk about and one more segment with Kathy right after these messages on Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Today's households have more digital devices than ever before. More links to family, business, education, and entertainment. Beck Communications spent over 10 years building North Dakota's fastest fiber optic internet service. Beck Lightband Internet, outpacing speeds in large cities nationwide. Lightband Internet handles all your digital needs without throttling your connection to the world. Beck Communications, valuable digital connections in rural North Dakota.
Since opening in Hebron in 1940, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been your hometown bank. Our mission has been to provide modern banking convenience with old-fashioned hometown service. We've grown with the communities we serve through year-round events, countless sponsorships, and nearly 7,000 hours of volunteering each year. Learn more about our 80-year history at dakotacommunitybank.com.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Giza Dream Sheets are available in a variety of colors. Use your promo code, and for a limited time, when you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. We are visiting with Representative Kathy Skroch. I got it right this time. You know, I get the federal and the state mixed up sometimes. You have the Congress and the Senate, and up
You're
here.
not alone.
Okay, so it was an easy mistake, and yeah, if you guys all make that mistake out there, I'll forgive you too. They forgave me.
I didn't want the viewers to think that I'm a congresswoman, because I'm not. And
well, you should be.
I don't know that I ever want to go to that level, honestly.
Okay, well, we were talking about the 4010. And I just wanted to read an email from Linda Thorson. She was on our show last week, and she encouraged all of you to go ahead and contact your legislators. And it just said, "Thank you very much, ladies, for the opportunity to tell the truth about ERA on your show. 4010 would never have progressed to this point of final and complete adoption by both chambers of the 67th Legislative Assembly of the great state of North Dakota in 2021 without your help to get the message out." So we're so excited that we are here and we can help with getting that message out.
Amen.
You know, there was somebody on another show yesterday that said that this was horrible for women. Do you want to touch on that?
I think too many times the media maybe pretends that if you are a woman, you must be in favor of these radical notions. And I think those women like Linda Thorson, they are well educated. They see through the masked language and so forth, and what these bills actually do, what the Equal Rights Amendment actually would impose, and then putting that into the Constitution, where we're looking at unlimited funding for abortifacients, birth control, funding for women to have abortions and so forth, because if you don't allow that, you're discriminating against women. And so that's why they want this to be part of the law and make that part of the discussion, where just because I'm a woman does not mean I have to march lockstep with some of the liberal ideologies. And I think we proved that with the floor
Amen.
vote.
Amen. It's time for conservative women to stand up
Absolutely.
and just make our voices heard. One of the things that that we were also talking about is the resolution 4002, and that is really strong on women. So explain that to our viewers really quickly.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 4002 creates September 23rd as the 4th trimester day.
Wait, trimester means tri. Tri means three.
Yeah.
So where does the 4th trimester come up?
So this is wordsmithing. There is no such thing as a 4th trimester, but there has been legislation passed in California. All good things come from California.
Oh, yes. Like the land of fruits and nuts.
So what this does is it says that after a baby is born, it is still integrally united with the mother for 12 months. And that is the 4th trimester. And during that time, if a mother is suffering immeasurably from what the
postpartum depression or something,
postpartum time period is, she should be compensated for it. She should have therapy to help her through it, and perhaps be able to euthanize her child as part of it. Now, that seems so extreme, but it's a reality. In the Netherlands, they have a protocol that a doctor put in place that states if these criteria are met, and one of them is suffering for the family, suffering for the child. So, although this child is not going to be cared well for, so that protocol is met, the child can be terminated up to a year old.
You've got to be kidding.
That Grobinger policy, I think, is protocol.
Right.
In the Netherlands. And so this was something that I became suspicious of right away, because one of the statements made by the testimony in favor of it was a woman who is a woman health physical therapist. And she was the only one who spoke in support of it other than the sponsor of the bill. And then there was very compelling opposition testimony. But I asked the question, well, okay, so women after they have a baby, they suffer all of these horrible things. We've never known that before, right? Millennium upon millennium of women have given birth, and we've done it without birthing beds and birthing pools and spinal blocks and any of those things. So it's to victimize women, to say women are such victims, so we should give them a year of paid leave and all this stuff. But also there's this really deep underlying concern that there's something else that's going to be pushed beyond just recognizing the 4th trimester as a day to be remembered. Dealing with postpartum, I asked the question then, well, don't women have follow-up care? Because I experienced that as a mom, and my daughters have experienced it as new moms. The public health nurse will come in and do a total assessment of the baby, a total assessment of the mom. Are you feeling depressed? Are you anxious about caring for your baby? Are you having any problems nursing? Are you having excessive bleeding? How are your stitches if you've had episiotomies? And there's all kinds of questions they ask, and offer them resources. You can follow up on calling this number and this number. My daughter on her last pregnancy, which was a set of twins, said it was mandatory that she watch all of these videos and sign off on them, and also sign off on the fact that she had received all these contacts for resources should she have any problems after she went home.
And that scares me too. Having all of that where you actually have to sign off, where there is somebody knowing how all the data is tied together now, how much privacy do I have with my baby? You know, that part has kind of grown as well, and that's concerning to me. You know, and to me, this bill also undermines the family relationship. You know, I'm not going to ask my mom, I'm not going to ask my grandma. I need to go to, just like they encourage the kids in school. Sometimes your parents aren't the best ones to go to. You need
go
to
to
see
the health
school
nurse,
nurse,
yeah, the school
or
nurse.
you need to talk to your teacher or the principal. You know, there's all those things that undermine family. And I think this bill gets into that. And it also makes women believe that having babies is just such a chore. And it's just such a hardship. And what does that do to women? I mean, how mixed up do women get? Because you have that motherly instinct in you the day you're born.
Yes.
And where do you put that then? What do you do with that? You know?
And I think it's about a positive attitude too.
Right,
if we sit in and bemoan how terrible I am suffering because of that baby, that
and then they can euthanize. I mean, if you guys didn't take away anything from this entire segment, you can euthanize a baby up to 1 year of its life.
In
That's
the
what they're,
Netherlands, and that's the door that opens.
That's the fourth trimester. That is, I'm speechless.
It's murder.
It's murder. It is murder. It's not euthanasia.
But if you remember, the governor from Virginia talking about setting a child aside, and how if the parents decided they wanted the child, they would resuscitate. Now, if you visualize that,
wow,
what loving society would set a baby aside and leave it neglected so long that you would have to resuscitate that baby in order for the parents to then be able to take it home. That then suddenly became, don't look at what he just said, because that exposed a horrific thing that is actually going on. And they said, don't look at that. The media shifted to, oh, he was blackface in high school.
Wow. Yeah.
To detract.
Wow. So much. We really appreciate you stopping by and giving us an update, because without people like you coming forward and letting us know so that we could share it with our viewers, we still wouldn't know. But thanks again for coming.
Yes,
and hopefully you'll come again with some more updates. And we'll be right back with Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
Deciding how to promote your business can be hard. Visit the professionals at Dakota Promotions and Printing and let them help you through your struggle. Dakota Promotions provides promotional items and apparel, from corporate gifts to team shirts and everything in between. With quick turnaround times and friendly service, they are your best choice. And best yet, you're shopping local. Visit them online at dakotapromo.com or stop in their showroom at 320 West Main in Mandan. Dakota Promotions, delivering promotions just for you.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Indoor football is back in Bismarck. Bucks football season is right around the corner. Grab a friend or family member for a night of action-packed, hard-hitting entertainment. The Bucks open at the Bismarck Event Center May 8th as they take on the Massachusetts Pirates. Catch the sweetest seats in the house right on the sidelines with VIP service at a Bucks turf table. Available now for single game purchases. Secure your tickets today by calling 701-595-0771. Bucks football, half the field and double the fun.
Beck Communications is hiring. Beck Communications is seeking qualified candidates for plant technicians in our Wheatland, North Dakota location. Beck Communications is an equal opportunity employer. To view the job details, visit www.beck.coop. To apply, email your cover letter and resume to careers@bechtel.coop. Beck Communications, making connections that matter.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. Boy, those were some heavy segments.
Yeah.
But you know, it's so important that we get that information out, because those are the things that are getting, you know, bills are being presented at our Capitol for those issues. So that's why it's so important that you follow along. It really is.
Yeah.
But we want to leave you with the lighter side, and we have Easter coming up. And I just want you to take a peek at this.
That's cool.
Beautiful.
That's so cool.
And it's like people are so creative. They come up with these great ideas.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's you can look up ways, natural dyes, a lot of different vegetables, just about every color under the sun you can dye. You saw cabbage and different beets will make things red. Natural dyes.
I'm always amazed at how they make it look so easy.
Right?
Oh, I know. And then I try it, and it's like, I don't even like these. Whoever thought this up.
I always call those Pinterest fails.
Yes.
I'm really good at that.
Yeah.
I mean, they make it look like, oh yeah, I could do that piece of cake, and you're like, no, not so much.
We should do that for a future lighter side. The Pinterest
try.
fails.
Oh,
where
yeah.
This is what it was supposed to look like. This is what mine looked like.
Oh my gosh, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, I'll look for those.
Well, I wouldn't be able to find the pantyhose. Who wears pantyhose anymore, you know? And it's like,
I do. Wash our legs for 'em. But we haven't been saving them when they get ripped.
Did you guys ever do it? Like when I was in high school, and I'm gonna date myself, but you'd have your pantyhose, and we wore them a lot. Well, one leg would have a big run in it or a big hole, so you'd cut that leg off, and then you'd put a second set of pantyhose. You'd cut the leg off, another one that would have damage, so that you could have two legs
I've done that.
worked then.
I did.
No.
I did that.
Are you
but that's
serious?
Carmen and I are older.
That's called recycling back in the day.
And we
did
saved
it.
a lot of money that way.
And it wasn't that we cared about the planet so much as we didn't have money to, and we couldn't get to town
That's
to
all we
buy
cared
another
about.
pair.
Oh
We were
my
on the
gosh.
farm, right?
Yeah, we saved money that way.
But getting back to the Easter eggs, my mom, she would take the onion peels, so save the really dark onion peels and then wrap that, and they turn out real pretty. They're just kind of like a mottled, in a sense, just really unique, and every egg is different. And so that's been a tradition of ours.
You know, one Easter I did, from Arizona again, a Mexican tradition is they're called cascarones, and so I would save the egg shells. I'd put holes on both ends of the eggs, blow the egg out so that I had the shell. I'd let them dry, and then I'd fill them with confetti and then painted them. And then Easter morning, we hid the eggs, and if you found an egg, you could run and you would crack the egg on someone's head, and it would bring them good luck. So anyway, fun activity if anyone wants to do that. Start saving your shells.
And you needed your vacuum nearby, right?
Well, we did it outside.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
So
of course.
did you just do 1 or 2 eggs, or was there one lucky egg, or the others were all boiled, or did you do a bunch of them?
Oh no, I had a bunch of empty shells so that all of the kids could, be breaking them on each other's heads, and it was a lot of fun. I saved them for a few weeks, so we had a lot of eggshells.
Right.
It was fun. So there's an idea for you.
That is a great idea for you.
You had me at
I don't have little kids anymore, so.
You had me at blow out the egg. I've never done that.
Oh,
so.
no,
I've done that.
My leftover shell would.
My brothers used to do that and then fill them with baby powder, and then the unsuspecting person, you'd throw an egg at them, and it'd be baby powder.
See, now today that would be a salt. Right?
Yeah, I think it was then too, but we used to have fun with the salt.
I know how that would not be a Pinterest fail for me. That whole thing, as I watched it, I need a new fridge, I need to clean my stove, and I need new pots and pans. That's it. I can do all that.
Wouldn't that be a godsend? I tell you what. No. But so we got like a minute left. What do you guys got going on tonight, or final thought?
I love this weather. Spring is like here, and so I'm just enjoying being outside and soaking up some sun.
Yeah, I'm debating whether or not I'm going to bring out a raised garden type thing that I have. And
you just got your fountain going though, or your waterfall.
Well, not yet, but it's getting there.
It's getting there.
Yeah, it's about time to put the pump in and get her rocking, because my irises are coming already. So
wonderful.
And tomorrow we're going to talk about what is great about being in North Dakota. And I do have friends who live in warm places. You came from Arizona and Florida. And like, as their season is winding down, ours is just starting up. The best is yet to come, right?
Yeah,
and we look forward to Florida spring a lot more here, I think,
spring and
because
summer.
of what we do.
Yes, bring on the summer. So we're glad you joined us today, and we hope to see you again tomorrow, because we'll have more guests and more fun things to talk about next time on Ladies of Another View on Beck.